Speaking of the economy, Bryan Fischer says gay people are going to be responsible for the collapse of the Western economy. Here's what he had to say about it. Now, I want to give you some context. Bryan Fischer is a fan of Niall Ferguson's bogus claim, which he has since renounced, that John Maynard Keynes didn't care about the impact of his economic policies because since he was gay, he didn't plan to have children. So what does he care? Now, this has long been this has been renounced. Okay, that's not even real anymore. Bryan Fischer still likes it, and this is what he is now saying.
Tom Costigan, who is very upset with Niall Ferguson. He's part of the pro-sodomy Gestapo, the gay-stapo that went out and forced this guy to apologize.
Yeah.
And he says this, and this is true, it perversely, talking about Niall Ferguson's comments, it even perversely pins the full weight of the financial crisis on the gay community.
Right, there it is. And then at the very end of the clip, Bryan Fischer wraps it up by saying, hey, gays, they're going to be responsible for the economic collapse.
Very short-sighted, short-circuited, cared about himself and his generation exclusively. So homosexuality in the end is going to be responsible for the collapse of the Western economy.
There you go. Have you ever heard a comment this absurd? By the way, Hitler said the same thing about Jews. They would cause an economic collapse. Yeah. One has to wonder about a guy who thinks more about gay people than gays do.
Yeah, good point.
He could, by the way, he also used the term he could care less. I guess that means he did care, right? People, I hate it when people don't understand.
That's a big pet peeve of mine, yeah.
I had an inkling, though, that when the S&P 500 drops 5 points, it's because two dudes just fell in love. I've always had that suspicion, Lewis.
You might be onto something.